Hello, Just2Good here, and welcome to the 12th episode of the Just2podcast, the podcast where it's just two of us, where we talk about Lego and have a good time. Today I'm joined by YouTuber Quinton Reviews. Quinton, how are you doing today?
I'm having an excellent evening. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it was no problem. You have been requested a couple times, so there you go to everybody requesting. And I asked this to everybody, but are your videos kid-friendly?
Oh, that's a good question. I like to think they are, actually.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, from what I've seen, you don't really swear too often, which is good.
I used to almost have like Tourette's on the channel. I used to curse 4 times a sentence, you know.
Oh my gosh.
That was mainly just nervousness about filming. So I would just curse a lot.
Dude, I totally understand. Yeah, I mean, back then, you actually had some different videos, but we'll get into that later. And first, we got to start off, of course, with the Lego questions. So I noticed your shelf of random collectibles in the background of some of your videos. I have to start with, where the heck is the Lego stuff on there? You got to put some Lego stuff there.
Oh, well, it's a weird story. So I have a couple different sets, and the first one is what I used in early 2016. And that set is basically the same now, but that's where all my Lego stuff is. So all my Lego stuff is on the set I don't use anymore.
I see. It makes sense. You know. For Lego, when did you start collecting Lego when you were younger? Were you a fan of Lego when you were young, or was it something you got into older?
Lego was always like it was always the Christmas present, you know. I remember one Christmas, I think I got 3 Optimus Prime Legos. Now, this was the coolest Lego I think I've ever owned.
Really? Optimus Prime Lego?
Yeah, the gimmick was, it was Optimus Prime, and he was transformable. So you could turn him into the truck or the robot. And this was Armada. This was not the live-action movies. And then I think I had some SpongeBob sets. Mainly right now, just because I don't have the space for the main stuff. I have small collections of the minifigures.
Oh, nice. Yeah, SpongeBob sets are actually pretty hard to find, so hold on to those minifigures. And I will say, with the Optimus Prime Lego, those might have been third party, because all the people in the comments are probably like, he doesn't know Lego, but Lego never did a license of Transformers.
Really? It was probably the there was a thing that I know you're right. Now that I think about it, I have seen that it was like, there's some other Lego knockoff that's not quite Lego.
Yeah. Well, hey, if it was it like a foreign one, or was it one released here?
Oh, it was released here, because it wasn't like my weird uncle got it for me during a trip to Japan. Like it was like my grandmother got it for me. So clearly she just picked it up from the supermarket.
Yeah, it could have been Creo, which a lot of people love.
Creo. I think it was Creo.
There we go. Yeah, Creo. I don't know if Creo's still going around. I saw they brought it back recently for like Trolls sets off the anime movie Trolls. But yeah, I don't know what happened to it. It was back in like 2011. They had the Transformers stuff, then it disappeared, then it came back. So who knows? Maybe Creo will return someday.
I think I have a few Creos. I think I have a few Creo minifigures, because they used to own the Doctor Who license, I think.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the outside of the Lego world, but you might be right. It was either them or character building.
I have a couple Doctor Who minifigures, and just like the Creo ones are sitting next to them, like they aren't different.
Well, did you get the Doctor Who Lego set?
I actually purchased the Doctor Who Lego Dimensions pieces, even though I don't own the game, just because I liked the Lego K9 they sold with that. I thought it was really cute.
Yeah, that's what happened with a lot of people, because I don't know why, but they didn't include like the instructions in the Lego Dimensions thing. So I hope you didn't have a hard time building that.
I just looked it up online, because if I remember correctly, isn't there like a free database for like instruction manuals?
Thankfully, yeah. There's a lot of them. Thankfully.
Yeah, I just looked them up. The other two I have like 3 groups of Lego minifigures on this shelf. Nice. One of them is the Yell Submarine figures, because that's like one of my favorite animated movies. It's my favorite animated movie, I'll just say. And so when they came out with Lego sets, I couldn't afford the full box, but I got all the minifigures, and they're really cute. Ringo has a hole.
Oh yeah. I could tell. I know you like the Yellow Submarine movie because you had the blue. Didn't you have the blue meanie in one of your videos recently?
Oh yeah, I had it. It was in focus during my Infinity War review, and
that was it. Yeah.
If you look in the background of my current set, it's somewhere around there, and so is the glove.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, and I mean, it was a very pricey set, so I don't blame you there. But the minifigures are so cool, and they have the Jeremy the Boob.
Oh, Jeremy! Oh, he's so cool. Oh, and then the third group I have is, I made these a while ago, and this is a really eccentric thing to have. But I have a Kite Man figure, an Aquaman figure, and then a custom I Hate Everything figure right next to each other.
That's perfect. That is freaking perfect.
I want to say it is a damn good I Hate Everything custom because I found the perfect head. It's got the eyebrows and everything. I should send you a photo of this.
Dude, awesome. Yeah, send it. Definitely. I definitely want to see that.
Remind me to do
I know in
later.
the recent Sardonicast, they featured it. They featured somebody else's I Hate Everything and YMS and Ralph, and I was like, oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I should have made I Hate Everything for my Just 2 podcast. I was gonna make one based off of his angry logo, but I didn't think to make one actually based off of how he looks, like in real life. But that was a missed opportunity on my end. But yeah, besides those, were there any recent Lego sets that you got? Like when was the last time you got a full Lego set?
Oh, you're gonna be disappointed. It's not been recently. It's been a while. I've always thought about getting into Lego. The thing is, I'm not settled right now. I'm getting ready to move. I'm gonna move short term, just a little bit away, and then I want to move to California. So I'm buying fewer knickknacks because I'm not gonna take like 10 plane trips to bring all my knickknacks with me. But I imagine once I'm like settled, because I really like building stuff. I like building like custom figures. I recently built a Mr. Potato Head, which was like a lot of fun. I'm so proud of that.
Yeah.
And I feel like Lego has that same appeal. That's what
definitely, dude.
What I really like about it is you can do whatever you want with it, and but it's also like relaxing to put the pieces together and make something.
Yeah, that's the joy of Lego. But yeah, definitely. I guess once you move, get some of some Lego sets and build them up.
Yes,
but actually,
sir.
speaking of your knickknacks and stuff, I remember in your background you have the Stu Pickles like doll. I didn't even know they had a Stu Pickle doll. Like, what's the story behind that?
Well, I did a video on All Grown Up, and I publicly stated in that video that not only do I think All Grown Up was a soulless, pointless show, I think
missed
Rugrats.
This one. Dang it.
It's called The Review I Never Wanted You to See.
All right, I'll check it out after this.
So clearly the goal was you wouldn't see it, but. I also say in the video that I think Rugrats, people are only fond of it because they're nostalgic, and I think when you watch the clips, it's a very awful show.
For the original Rugrats and stuff?
Yeah, have you ever watched the clips where they're discussing, like, where do you hide your poop? And like that's the show, and people are like, oh, they should bring that back.
They always do that thing. They always used to do that thing in Rugrats where they would zoom in on something, and you're like, what is this? And then they would zoom out, like...
That whole company, that whole animation company, I think was like
Cuspo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's some of like the ugliest animation.
Oh yeah, they did the first few Simpsons or the first Simpsons season, and it was just it didn't even look.
Yeah, that's
good.
the weirdest. That's the weirdest animated one. And the babysitter who's just like awfully animated.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh.
But anyways, I bought Stu and. His wife. I bought figures of them on eBay because they're just the creepiest damn figures. Because the character designs are ugly in 2D, but when you bring them into 3D, they're like nightmare fuel. Stu's just always looking there. He's always sitting on that shelf like he's waiting to do something evil. Like one day he's just gonna stand up in the middle of one of my analysis videos and he's gonna jump at me like the evil Krusty the clown doll. And he's just gonna start strangling me.
That's hilarious, dude. Yeah, I mean it definitely, out of all your knickknacks, that's the one that stands out the most to me. I was like, I didn't even know they made this. It's just funny, yeah. Now you got to add those B-movie toys you got like in the background too.
Oh, one of those has always been there, and in the most recent video, if you look over my right shoulder, you can see a McDonald's B-movie box.
There you go. I didn't even notice it. Perfect. Well, hey, talking about all this entertainment stuff, we're both big movie guys. So, was there any recent movies you watched that you'd recommend? I guess to younger viewers, since most of my fans are younger viewers.
Okay, let me think about that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to like pull together a list of movies. Honestly, if I was gonna say younger viewer, kids in the audience, movie you should watch, maybe I would go like the most recent Peanuts movie is like 2 years old.
Yeah,
but that's a great movie. I think
I still haven't seen it.
Oh, it's just a great like. Well, Charlie Brown as a comic is a very existential thing.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's a constant point of discussion in the show that Charlie Brown is very depressed, and and as a big fan of the Peanuts lore, but believe it or not, that's a thing. The Peanuts movie is brilliant because, first of all, it's like a 3D movie that captures that 2D style so beautifully.
Yeah, the animation really stood out when I saw like the previews of it.
It's so nice to look at, especially for that studio, honestly.
I know Blue Sky out of all it was Blue Sky, right? I think.
Yeah. I think it's because the Schultz Foundation was so involved, honestly. But I hope like their Mario movie is that good. Aren't they making a Mario movie?
No, that's Illumination.
Oh, my mistake.
Illumination's doing the Mario. Yeah.
I hope the Garfield movie is that good. But anyways, this Peanuts movie is just like a real feel-good movie about Charlie Brown, this character that's just trying his best, but still gets just crap from everybody and feels like he doesn't fit in. And it's a great reintroduction to the franchise, and it also has a bunch of references to the deep Peanuts lore.
Which I think awesome.
I think is hilarious.
Yeah, if only the Garfield movies did that. Gosh.
No, they're making a Garfield movie, and I hope that it has that same heart. I hope it has that same passion behind it. Because I was thinking about this while I was making my Garfield analysis video, and I think a cute little movie about John Arbuckle, the cartoonist that just has trouble connecting to people, and his cat that sort of loves his owner but also is embarrassed by him, in the style of the Peanuts movie. I think that would be somewhat beautiful, and I think that could make people unironically love the character again.
Yeah, it's like Garfield has become sort of like a meme recently and stuff like that.
Yeah. I want them to come out with a trailer for this new Garfield movie, and I want people to say, "Wow, I never thought I'd care about Garfield again." Like that's what I want it to be.
Dude, that would be awesome. I mean, hey, do you know what studio's behind the Garfield movie, the new one?
I have no clue. I think it's a really unknown studio. I did look at the studio, and I'm not. I mean, I could just Google it. Hold on.
Yeah, I to be honest, this is the first time I'm hearing that they're doing another Garfield. Not those live action ones that were just bad.
I think it's. Let's see. I think it's gonna be one of those movies where it keeps being like blank movie parentheses current year. Yeah. So like Sly Cooper movie parentheses 2016. One of those ones that keeps not coming out.
Yeah. Rip. We all know those movies.
Alcon Entertainment.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hey, all this animated movie talk, I have to ask, which of the 3 Lego movies have you seen?
I saw the first one, and I saw the Batman Lego movie.
Oh, so
this studio did
Ninjago movie?
Sorry to leap back. We'll get back into the Lego movie discussion, but this studio did Blade Runner 2049 and The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Those are 2 totally.
Oh, and the Blind Side and Wicker Man. And
these are all just different movies. Like what?
And Dolphin Tale 2, but
what?
I don't see Dolphin Tale 1.
What the? I didn't even know there was a Dolphin Tale 2. I think that was the one with Morgan Freeman.
Dolphin Tale. They did Dolphin Tale. Okay. What a weird repertoire.
That is something. Oh my gosh.
Well, people liked Blade Runner, right?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see it? It was very good.
Well, I mean the sequel, not the original. People like Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, 2049. It was so good.
I feel confident these guys might pull together
an
alright movie. Anyways, what was the new question? Which of the Lego movies I'd seen?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, to leap back to that. Which of the 3 Lego movies have you seen?
I saw the Lego movie and I saw Lego Batman. Did not see Lego Ninjago.
Do you have any interest in seeing it?
Yeah, it looked good. It looked really funny. I liked the trailer. I just there's so many good movies that I never get around to seeing. Like, I've seen like 2 Pixar movies in the last 5 years. You know.
Well, to be fair, I don't think they've released too many good ones lately. Like, they've just kind of been mediocre. I mean, Coco was pretty good. We'll see how Toy Story 4 is. I mean, that comes out like next.
I feel like that's gonna feel like, you know, when a movie series is wrapped up, but like several decades later, someone makes a really underwhelming comic sequel.
Yeah.
That's what that's gonna feel like. It's gonna feel like the IDW Back to the Future comics that no one cared about.
Yeah. How about the Telltale game Back to the Future stuff?
I loved the Telltale Back to the Future stuff. But I mean, like, the ones where they make a sequel to the movie and, like, some guy, like the butler from the 3rd film is the bad guy of the comic just because it's all they could think of.
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, this one, Toy Story 4, it's about, like, finding Bo Peep or something.
Bo. So well, that'll be cute.
Yeah. We'll see.
But it's still
we will see. It's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, I totally get what you're saying there. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Do you have any follow-up questions about the Lego films, or was it just...
Oh, yeah, I mean, I didn't really have too much else about the Lego Ninjago or stuff. Really, okay, this is something I've been asking a lot of people lately with the Lego movies. Lego Batman, is it better or worse than the first Lego movie?
That's a good question. I'd have to watch them again in order.
Mm-hmm.
The Lego movie is definitely, like, a really unique new thing that inspired a new genre of film almost. I mean, clearly the Emoji Movie is narratively just a cheap rip-off of the Emoji movie, of the Lego movie.
The Lego movie, yeah. No, definitely.
So, and then Lego Batman is just a really, really good Batman movie, honestly, and that's the difference for me. It's probably one of the best Batman movies they've ever made, but it's just not. It's not a revolution of filmmaking, you know, and that's the difference to me.
Yeah, I'm actually totally with you there. If you saw Lego Ninjago, it was actually kind of... It was a letdown. I mean, definitely check it out sometime, but it was just not even on the level of any of the first 2 Lego movies. It was just, I don't know, it felt very mediocre in a way. But it's unfortunate. I mean, are you excited for Lego Movie 2?
Yeah, I almost kind of wish... I think it'd be more interesting if they dropped the subplot about the kid, you know? I feel like if they try and... You know, I liked that in the first movie. I just feel like... It would be a huge contrivance, because not only would you have to say that the movies are this kid playing a game, you'd also have to say Lego Dimensions is that kid playing a game, which means all of the Lego Batman games, which there's a Lego Batman video game level in the Lego Dimensions. The Batman from that game is the Batman from the previous games from the 2000s. So then that would also have to be...
super... I think you're thinking it too hard. I don't even consider any of the Lego games canon. I think the Lego fan community doesn't consider them canon, so... There's also... I don't know if you saw it. Probably didn't, but there was a Legoland ride of... It was a follow-up to the Lego movie, and it didn't make sense. If it was really all about in this kid's mind, it was weird. There was like...
To be fair, like most theme park adaptations of films don't make any sense. You ever been on Snow White: The Scary Adventure? You are Snow White? What is happening?
Yeah. That's the original... Is that the original Disney World ride of Snow White?
That's Disneyland, and it used to be Disney World, but I think it closed.
Yeah, because I went on the Disney World one. It's been a while, dude, but... Yeah, theme park rides, they don't... I think they even have like an Ninjago one that doesn't even make sense, so... Who knows? But, yeah, I mean, I think that with the second one, you could see they're still trying to incorporate, like, the kid stuff, because, like, now it seems like his sister has the Lego or whatever, because they have a lot of girly stuff, as people would say.
Oh, so, yeah. Well,
again, that'd be cool. Yeah, we'll see if they could really pull it off. It's kind of worrying that the original directors aren't coming back, but...
Yeah. Oh, they aren't? Oh, man, they've been having some bad luck.
Yeah,
with
unfortunately,
Solo and everything.
Solo.
I mean, I hope they just... I hope we at least get to see another Clone High season one day, because they're Clone High, right?
Yeah, they did.
I mean, if they get burnt out on film, just go make television again, guys. Because I mean, those guys are some of the coolest people I think in entertainment.
I think their next film, they're doing a science fiction film actually of like a book. I don't think the book has even come out. Like it's based off of a book that hasn't come out.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. It was surprising to me. I thought they would do. People were saying they're going to do the Flash and all this stuff, but they chose that. I was like, okay, but they don't seem to return for their animated sequels. Like they didn't return for Cloudy with a Chance to. I don't know if you saw the original Cloudy with a Chance.
Oh yeah, I did see the original Cloudy with a Chance. That was a really interesting adaptation of that book.
Mm-hmm. Like the book they really took a book that didn't have much, story to it, and they added a lot, and I thought it worked really well.
Yeah, I remember it being fun. I mean, I was a kid at the time, but I guess that means it was a good kid movie.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. That's another one for those listening who hasn't seen another. We were looking for some kid movies to watch. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 1. The sequel, which I didn't return to, wasn't really that good, unfortunately.
Wasn't there like a Nick TV show? Or am I
they have it. Yeah, they do. I think. I don't. Is it Netflix?
I don't know.
Viewers can also submit questions, and for those who are watching who didn't know, you can also submit your questions for each guest on the main thread in the subreddit a couple days before the interview. The subreddit is literally reddit.com/r/just2good, but it's linked in the description. Anyways, Garfungal_ asks, what movies do you dislike that other people would call a classic?
That's a really hard one. When I was like 14, I would immediately have an answer, because I was a lot more... I remember I watched The Wizard of Oz, and I was like, that wasn't a perfect movie. I know people implied that would be perfect.
Yeah. As we grow, we get, I guess, less pretentious with that type of stuff,
If I could think of an answer, I mean, if I thought about this for hours, I'd have an answer. I'd assure you, some of you wouldn't like my answer because it would probably because of like a political reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
fair. So like, I don't like this movie because I don't like how it portrays this issue. Okay, but yeah. I just thought of a non-political answer.
Okay, there you go.
I don't really like the first Matrix movie.
You don't like the first Matrix movie, huh?
I think it's hilarious. It's people think it's badass, but it's not. It's kind of camp and stupid. It's like
yeah, it was 99.
I feel the same way about David Tennant Doctor Who, which is going to be a surprise to people because I'm considered people know I'm a big Doctor Who fan.
Yeah.
But David Tennant Doctor Who it's so many scenes of like actors in trench coats who are like, I look so cool, and like scenes of them running down hallways, and the camera's like, man, these guys look so cool, but they don't. They look like idiots, and that's what the Matrix movies are.
Yeah, well, wasn't that David Tennant one? Was that the reboot one, or was that the second?
Oh, David Tennant is the 10th Doctor, which means it's after the renewal, but it's the same continuity, so it's technically not a reboot.
I see. Okay. Did you like the Lego Dimensions Doctor Who little thingy?
Oh, I loved those little segments because they're actually... I loved the idea... I love crossovers. And I really loved that, for instance, he uses Doctor Who terminology instead of Lego Dimensions terminology. So, like, when he's messing with the portal, he says, like, we have to open our way into the vortex or something like that. Oh, and there's just like so many. You can tell those guys knew their stuff because there's so many details in that. I see. I'm surely you've seen the TARDIS interiors that they made for that.
Yeah, like I think for what was that? I think for Teen Titans Go they outsourced some of the writers from the show. So I wonder if they got like some of the people from Doctor Who to do that.
I know they did. I mean they didn't. I don't know if they had any writers on. But they certainly had some diehard fans, and just the detail of stuff. Like, there's an Easter egg there's a level set on the Dalek, what do you call it? The Dalek Emperor's sort of base.
Yeah.
But if you like go across a lake and summon another character and open a door and open a portal, the convoluted stuff you have to do to get Easter eggs in that game, you can find a part of that map based on the 60s Dalek Emperor.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is just a really obscure reference that you can find. Cool. Like when you go into the room, the screen fades to black and white. Just really awesome. Cute stuff.
Yeah, I could see like since you love Doctor Who, that's perfect. When they did the Simpsons stuff in there, I'm like a huge Simpsons fan. I was so let down because they took the Mysterious Voyage of Homer and they made it into just a Lego version. Nothing new, and it was because they couldn't get other actors and stuff. All they got was Dan Castellaneta, the voice of Homer.
Castellaneta, yeah.
Yeah, I can never say it. And then the voice of Krusty. So Bart
Well,
doesn't
the
talk
same
at
guy.
all. Marge doesn't talk at all. It's so they really did Simpsons wrong in that one. It was
Well, that's a
I was
shame,
really let
but
down.
they're probably really limited because there's some point and click Simpsons walk around game. I saw Oni Plays do it, and that's filled with so much detail, and that's almost what you would want from a Lego Simpsons level.
I was hoping something like Hit and Run. If you played that, like Hit and Run was so cool. I love that.
Do you know
One
what I
of my favorite
remember?
Simpsons games.
I just remembered the only thing that disappointed me about the Lego Dimensions game when they released the trailer for the Doctor Who levels, they made a huge deal out of showing shots of the 12th Doctor and Doc Brown next to each other. And I was like, are they just going to do a Back to the Future Doctor Who crossover? Because that wouldn't make me mad. You can do that.
Yeah.
But no, it was just like, they were just like, look, you can do this. You can summon both of these characters. That was kind of disappointing. But other than that, it's such a cute, fun little mini level.
Did you see the Back to the Future stuff in general? Like they had new dialogue and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was really, I really liked that. I got Christopher Lloyd on.
Yeah.
The Doctor Who stuff is honestly so consistent that in my head, I think it's canon. Believe it or not. But keep in mind, I'm one of those guys that's like TV comics, the comics from the 60s where they didn't get the Doctor's name right. Those are canon. You can't convince me otherwise.
You're into you're the lore master of Doctor Who.
Sorry to go a little too deep there. A little too obscure.
No, dude, it's awesome. It's awesome. I love hearing about different lore of stuff, like even if I don't care about the show, so that's super cool.
Oh, good.
But yeah, have you done any videos on like Doctor Who lore in general?
I used to do only Doctor Who videos, but those were really embarrassing, so they're gone. It's not that Doctor Who is embarrassing, it's that I made those when I was a teenager, and it was very, channel awesome, shake your fist at the camera. So, like, horribly embarrassing.
Oh, rip.
16-year-old edgy Quinton. I've done a couple Doctor Who analysis videos since then. I did a video about why the female Doctor doesn't bother me, because... I mean, Hartnell is so completely different from Matt Smith or David Tennant. Well, Matt Smith is kind of Hartnell-esque, but, so different from, like, Christopher Eccleston that I don't see... It's not that big a change to have the Doctor be a woman. But in terms of just the deep lore, I am going to do a video in November. I'm going to talk about a series of knockoff videos that were made of Doctor Who in the 90s.
That's going to be interesting.
Oh, it's really weird.
Yeah.
It's very strange. I'll just tell you that.
Well, I'll stay tuned. That sounds pretty interesting, and like, I'm sure the comments right now, the comment section will be debating the female Doctor or whatnot. But
oh yeah, you're welcome. I fixed your comments.
Anyways, Nowhere Taylor on YT asked if there's a video game or album that you feel like on an artistic level reaches the beauty of your favorite film or show.
So I'm just going to take that to be like, what's an album or video game that reaches an artistic beauty?
Yeah, that basically, yeah.
I don't play a lot of video games, but in terms of albums, I think Abbey Road is really beautiful, and I listen to it probably twice a month. And the reason Abbey Road takes the same style of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which if you've ever listened to that, it's played like it's a concert, which is why there's applause in between songs and at the start of the album. Abbey Road is played like a concert in that you're supposed to listen to it in one setting. Sometimes Spotify will play one song from that album, and I just have to stop and listen to the rest of the album from there. And the reason is mainly because the last 4 songs are the finale to the Beatles. Golden Slumbers is about death. Then it's followed up by Carry That Weight, which is about mourning. And by the way, there is no, like... You know how songs fade out at the end? These songs don't do that. They just like... They lead directly into each other. Following Carry That Weight, which is about mourning, is The End, which is this triumphant just rock solo. Sort of like a celebration of life and love, and the final words of that song are, in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. And it goes out in a very beautiful way. And then that's like the finale of the Beatles, because The End is sort of the final Beatles song. But it's then followed up by what is basically the after the credits scene of Beatles songs, which is like a 20-second cell phone jingle, you could call it, of Paul McCartney playing his guitar with no backing things. And what I've always taken that to be is that it's very much a cute little lovey song that sounds like it could have been on their first album. Mm-hmm. So as if you listen to the Beatles, not the Ruddles, if you listen to the Beatles from Please Please Me to the end, they become so much more complex and emotionally deep, and then after the end, you just get this final note, which just sounds like something they could have made at the begining. So yeah, I like a heavy road.
Wow, that was a good analysis. Beatles are of course well known. I've listened to so much of their songs, but I don't think I've listened to one of their albums as a whole, like
in one sitting. It's totally, it's mind blowing. Somehow. Mm-hmm. The White Album itself is fascinating, just because that was the point where they were all really splintering off. Paul McCartney is a very simple love song guy, but John's very personal. You can always feel like he's telling you a real story. George is very spiritual, and Ringo, his songs always sound like something that would be like the theme song to a children's show. That's not an insult. That's a compliment. It's a very unique style. But White Album inspired just so many different genres of music, I like to imagine. Because there's so much different stuff there.
Yeah. All right, time to go listen to the Beatles after this. But WPP98 asked, how do you feel about Disney owning Fox?
It's a little worrying that they own, I think it's 40% of the profits made by movies. Not too many strong feelings other than the same way you feel. It's the same way I feel whenever Disney buys something. Like, oh, that's a little weird. Huh.
Yeah, I see. I wonder what they're going to do with The Simpsons, now Disney owns The
That's
Simpsons.
A good question. I would like to think that it would get better, but... the big question for me isn't The Simpsons. It's they own Deadpool, they own Family Guy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, what's going to happen to those Disney-owned properties
that is weird.
Infamous for being, not edgy, but so controversial.
Well, Family Guy is pretty edgy. I don't know.
Well, I think they're beyond edgy. I think they're Family Guy in every episode, or at least in every season, says something that would get a celebrity fired.
Yeah, in a way.
And it's crazy to think that that's a Disney presentation.
Yeah, man. We'll have to see. It's really what the future holds. Yeah, but for some channel questions, what do you think is the best experience to come from starting your channel?
That's a good question. I do enjoy meeting people who enjoy my content. When it's not an excess thing, I like running into people in public. There's been a few encounters that are not fun, and those become my stories that I tell to other YouTubers. But for the most part, most of you guys don't get nervous, guys. No, most of you guys aren't like that. I really enjoy that. I like it. It's always really weird when I met with a teacher and he told me his daughter and him watched the Garfield video. Stuff like that is weird.
Wow. So it was an unrelated meeting. It was just you were going to a teacher,
Oh, no, actually, he shot a cameo for a project I'm working on, and he was like, by the way, we watched your Garfield analysis video. Hope that hits 1 million.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now since you brought them up, you gotta tell me some of these weird experiences.
Oh, yeah. I always tell this to YouTubers, and they're just to other YouTubers, and they're like, what? I was at my gym, my local gym, and someone followed me into the changing room.
What? There you go.
Yeah, that's the story. They were they followed me in there, and I was about to start taking my clothes off, and they said, "Hey, I just wanted to come in here and tell you, I like your videos." And I was like, "Why'd you put me in this situation? I don't know what to say. Why did you do this?" I'm not going to shake your hand. I'm sweaty, and I'm not going to take a photo with you. There's a men's changing room. So I just left. I just walked out.
No, that's so funny. Like, when you went to VidCon, right? Like, did you get, like, spotted a lot there?
Oh, yeah. Like, the first year I went to VidCon, I got recognized twice. Mm-hmm. I probably got recognized at least once or twice an hour at this year's VidCon. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
You got to experience that stuff while you can, because Boy in a Band, I saw him both VidCons. The first year it was like 5 times a minute. And the second year it was like I talked to him for 30 seconds and I was like, hey, I think there's 15 people behind us that are waiting to talk to you.
Dude, that's awesome. Oh man.
You know, I mean, it is awesome, but it's also terrifying. I was told security took him away.
Oh man,
because they're like, you can't just
I
you
can
can't come out here because it's causing a blockade. You know.
Hey, I mean, I'm not saying I'm like the most popular YouTuber, but that's why I try keeping my identity secret.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Like, it was so depressing. People kept coming to me at VidCon, and they were like, "Quinton, as a content creator, I want to be a content creator. What advice could you give me?" And I just gave them like the really serious, depressing stuff. So I was like, make up a fake name that sounds real. Present that as your name. Lie as much as possible.
Oh man, so Quinton's not your real name, eh?
No, it is. I used to start my videos by saying my real name, and I wish that wasn't the case because I'm very paranoid about people coming to find me. But I do realize that other people have it a lot worse. So, but it's still very creepy.
Yeah, I see. Well, hey, I really like how on your channel you cover like a variety of topics. Like, this is how I first became aware of your content, because I remember I saw like the grade A video, the MatPat one, and I was like, who made this? And then I was like, oh wow, it all
video?
Yeah. So like, how the heck do you determine like what topics to make?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I always explain it to people that it's classic H3H3, where it's a spectrum of entertainment.
Yeah,
somewhere
exactly.
in between comedy and commentary, discussion and gaffes, I guess you could say. And it's really, I just want to make something entertaining or engaging, and where the topics themselves, if it's a commentary video, it's whatever I can talk about, and if it's a comedy video, it's whatever I can make funny. I've been trying to get back into the skits. We've been working on some stuff behind the scenes that's going to be coming out in the next few months. Yeah. Because I really miss that. Yeah. Quinton Leap 2, certainly. I thought about making that for a few days, like unironically. And I was like, I still know some of those people.
That would be the greatest sequel. Like, it would be like a soft reboot, like Force Awakens or stuff like that. You got to make it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, oh man, I can't wait. But Seth F on Reddit asked, how do you feel about your evolution as a creator? Does making your old form of content intrigue you at all anymore?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't talk about this a lot, but my old videos really embarrass me.
Yeah, to be fair, I haven't been aware of your, like, the oldest videos I've seen was like the MatPat one, grade A one.
Oh yeah, well that's what I'm.
Videos.
I know I mentioned the Doctor Who videos earlier, but the grade A video is what I would consider an old video when I say I'm embarrassed by my old videos.
Really?
I mean, it's partially that I find it hard to watch my own analysis videos, partially because I remember none of them, and partially because I'm so picky about like editing and like inflation, how I say my words. I almost said inflation. And things like pausing. And so, but the grade A videos really embarrass me because you got to remember I made those under the context that no one would ever see them, and I think people like them. I think they're ridiculous. I mean, I haven't watched them in 2 years, but
hey, like, for one of those, like, which one was the first one to really blow up?
Of the grade videos or in general?
Just in general, any of your videos.
Oh, so the first video that did really well was video analyzing "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared." When I say really well, I mean really well for a guy that got 100 views a video. That one ended up with about 10,000 views.
Oh, nice. Where was all the traffic from? Was it just from like recommendations, or?
I think I posted it to a Reddit somewhere, and then it was traffic as well.
Oh, nice.
Then when the Leafy thing happened, I was such a lucky guy because iDubbbz made a video making fun of Leafy. Leafy made a response video, and I just was like, I want to talk about this because, man, Leafy just ruined his shot there.
Yeah.
So I did an analysis video taking
that was another one
I basically said iDubbbz's bit was that he made a Leafy video, and Leafy responded by reacting in a way that proves he's not self-aware. And then iDubbbz made his response to Leafy's response, which basically pointed this out as well. And it ended up that my video became like sandwiched in between these two hits. So it's even in like the top recommended of the Content Deputy. And so I gained like a lot of subscribers from that. But the thing was, that was a hardship for me for a while because I didn't want to do that, and people wanted me to do that, and I didn't care, you know?
I see.
So like I think a month after I did that, I started making what would be considered like the modern videos where I'm sitting on my couch. I think it was Scary Godmother or Grave Encounters. Actually, Grave Encounters 2 was the first one I did.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of that one. But no one watched it because no one cared because it didn't have the word Leafy in the title. People didn't come for me. They came for the clickbait, drama alert, talk about a trendy YouTuber doing some stupid thing. And I ended up...
Well, hey, the Scary Godmother one I remember seeing, too.
Yeah, but that took a while to take off. But my evil plan, inevitably, was that I would continue to make videos about other YouTubers, but the style would slowly shift so that there wouldn't be a difference between my YouTube drama videos and my film reviews. And by the time I did the Matt Haas video, that plan was fully into effect, and eventually it was successful, and it's gotten to the point that I don't need to talk about YouTube drama anymore, which is good because I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, there was that era where, like, it was just YouTube drama galore, with the Leafy video and all that.
Every week. And now YouTubers are having boxing matches, which which is the ultimate devolution of that idea, because people acted like it was a philosophical debate of ideals, but it wasn't. People just liked watching YouTubers fight. I mean, this whole thing is so embarrassing.
That's actually a great way to look at it. Wow. You should do a video just on that alone, like just.
I was thinking about it.
Become YouTube.
I know it would get a lot. I've seen people get like 75,000 subscribers in a day from doing videos about that boxing match. So I might.
But yeah, I mean, I guess this is why like even like an iDubbbz doesn't do like content comps really frequently recently, because it's just become, you know, like.
It's so harder to justify it. It's so harder to justify it because the thing about YouTube drama was it was always under the context that the person you were attacking was this scum of the earth that needed to be taken down, and it's rarely like that. I mean, I constantly pointed this out. You know, if you watch my Matt Haas video, that's the start of the video. It's so hard to justify making a video like that about someone because either they're going to take it personally or your audience is going to freak out and act like they're the devil because of these points you've made. And that was one of the inspirations for Fallen Titans, was that like I liked analyzing YouTube and internet culture, but I didn't like how everyone was babies about it. I can't remember what my point was in all this. What did you ask me a question?
I know. I'm like, wait, where'd we? But hey, this was a good discussion with YouTube drama in general. I think it was it was about your evolution as a creator.
Oh yeah,
that's kind of funny.
I do media analysis now, and I'm glad I don't do YouTube drama because YouTube drama is stupid. All right, thanks for the question.
Yeah, well, building upon that, is there one singular video that you're most proud of on your channel?
I read some of these, and I did a lot of deep thought about these. The thing about it's always ridiculous how quickly I discount a video from being in my favorites. There's a joke in the music video analysis video that I don't like. I make a joke about Madonna, and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have made that joke. That's not me. And like that one joke is enough for me to not consider that a good video, you know? So it's just hard to.
What the joke was, but yeah.
It was some joke where it was like, it was just a joke about the fact that Madonna's attractive. It wasn't a good joke.
So
anyways,
that's it. It just takes one thing to disregard a whole video.
Yeah, exactly. It's so hard to find one video where everything is perfect. But of all the greatest thing I've ever made for that YouTube channel is I reviewed Sinister Squad, and the start to that video is a fake knockoff superhero group called Supervise Squad, and it is the funniest thing we've ever made. And everything else has been a low point from there, because we thought of all these terrible superheroes like purple guy, he's purple, and then there was a guy who got thrown into a vat of scientific equipment, and it gave him super speed, but it also damaged his lungs, and he's called the Asthmatic Flash.
Oh my gosh.
And then there's a guy called...
I haven't seen this one from you. This is fun.
I wish I just made it that skit, honestly. Then there's a guy called Multiplication Man, and his gimmick is that he can make a perfect copy of himself, but then the original dies. So it's just pointless. He just does an extra corpse of himself.
That's funny.
And then I forgot my favorite one. There's a guy that built a super suit that's like... It's like it has super strength, he can fly, he can do everything, but it looks really embarrassing, so he never wants to wear it. And I bought a dinosaur costume for a potential sequel, but we never used it.
Oh man.
So that's the thing I'm the most proud of, which I know is different from the rest of my stuff, but I love that.
Hey, you can make a skit to make a sequel or something like that.
Yeah.
So there you go. But I was gonna say what Giuliano is lame asked, what's the video you were most nervous about uploading?
I'm always nervous about not hitting my goals, but other than that, it would probably just be one of the really old drama videos that I don't like anymore.
I see. Perfect. Well, hey, now for some random questions. Any odd foods you'd recommend?
I have this ghost pepper mustard. I put it on everything. And I know that's I'm
Really?
probably going to lose all my taste buds. Oh, I know. It's such a weird food. Flamin' hot Funyuns. Yeah, I can only
Flamin'
get it.
hot. You know, I like Flamin' hot Cheetos, but Flamin' hot Funyuns.
I can only get it at dollar stores.
Dollars? It's only at dollar stores? Yeah, I don't see it often. So
not dollar stores, gas stations,
Gas stations.
You can only get it at gas stations.
Yeah.
Like, I go to regular stores, they don't have it, but gas stations, all of them have it. I don't know why.
I always see it, but it's never at, like, the right time. Like,
oh, yeah,
right. Like, Flaming Hot Cheetos, I have to be in the mood for. So, like, when I see Flaming Hot Funyuns, I'm never in the mood for Flaming Hot in general. So, I gotta try it sometime. I gotta get around to it.
Well, I mean, it could just not be your taste. I mean, that's the thing.
Well, no, yeah, I mean, I like Funyuns and I like Flaming Hot Cheetos, so if it's a mix of those two, I wouldn't mind that at all,
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess I gotta try those, but... Anyways, are there any hobbies you have outside of what's shown on your channel?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a good one. I already talked about how I make custom figures from time to time. So I talked about I made a Mr. Potato Head, which was... I took a Mr. Potato Head, and I painted it to look like a porg. And it's he's my new favorite thing, which sadly that gets a lot of Jenny Nicholson comparisons, but that's not what I was going for.
Oh yeah, she's the porg.
She has a lot of porgs in her background.
Yeah.
Then the other thing is I collect G1 bumblebees, and there's so few of those. If you look in the background, whenever you can see them, because I'm usually sitting in front of them, about two of those I made, and I'm making a third one. The two that I made were...
So you make them, or you collect them?
I collect them, and I made two of them.
Oh, cool.
And how I made them
How do you make those? Like,
okay, so the story is, in the 80s, there were these competing shows. One was called Transformers. One was called GoBots. And they both had very similar toys. And Transformers had a character called Bumblebee that would transformed into a yellow Volkswagen. And GoBots had a character called Bugbite who transformed into a yellow Volkswagen. So I took the toys for those two characters, and I took them apart, and I put them back together in the robots' modes of each other. So if you look, there's a really tiny Bugbite and a really big Bumblebee that is clearly the toys for each of those just swapped. And I'm really proud of that one.
I see. For the ones you collect, do you have any, like, really rare ones?
Do I have any rare ones? That's a good question. The thing about G1 Bumblebees is they're mostly They're mostly knockoffs because it's just like, I guess it's hard for them to get the license on the Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah.
But there is one that's super rare, so rare I can't confirm that it actually exists. And that's Soap
Really?
Studio makes these like plastic Bumblebee Transformer toys.
Yeah.
And I guess as a con exclusive, they made versions of the Cybertron vehicles. Mm-hmm. In episode 1 of Transformers, the 80s show meant for kids.
Yeah.
Part of it's set on Cybertron, which is an alien planet, so it wouldn't make sense for them to turn into like human cars, right?
Yeah.
So they turn into like futuristic fake vehicles. And
Really?
I've always been enamored with the vehicle that Bumblebee turns into. And when I saw a little plastic figurine of that car mode, even though it was really expensive, I bought it on the spot. And I have never seen anyone else post about having one of those. And I've looked for it elsewhere and I can't find it.
Really?
So that one has to be really, really rare.
You gotta make like a video on this or something, because I want to hear more info about like if this is real or not, you know.
And I also and it came with a Starscream that starts Cybertron mode.
So that's another one that's super rare too.
Well, they're like the same. Clearly, they're part of a set or something.
Huh.
So it also must be rare because I haven't seen another one.
Dude, you might be on some gold right there. Definitely, like I said, make a video or find out more info on it. Keep us updated on that.
Okay,
I'm really interested. Yeah, I love prototype toys and like con exclusive toys and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That stuff is fascinating.
Yeah, definitely. And finally, I asked this to everybody on the show. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. But do you have any near-death experiences you can share?
I don't think I do. I mean, near-death experiences. One time I was crossing the road and like a car went by and I was like, man, if I had been like one step further into the road, they would have had to swerve a little more.
Oh man.
Near-death experiences. Scary. Maybe I'm too young to have a near-death experience.
You'd be amazed.
There was this time I jumped out of an airplane, but that was fine. I landed on a haystack.
Wait, what? Okay,
no,
elaborate.
I made that up. That's a joke. I didn't jump out of an airplane and land on a haystack.
Yeah, I think you got cut out at the beginning of that, so I heard like jumped out of an airplane, landed on a haystack. I was like, oh my gosh. But that'd be wow. All right. But anyways, thank you for coming on, and for those who didn't know, you can vote for the upcoming guests on the Just Too Good Reddit, linked in the description. $2 plus Patreon supporters can listen to the audio of each episode early. You'll find a link to my Patreon in the description.
Oh, really? So someone voted for me?
Yeah, people have voted. I've seen a lot of requests for you, like in the comments of like, you know, other movie reviewers and stuff like that. But it was a pleasure to have you on, Quinton.
I really liked this. This is a really chill podcast.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.